Hey, first grade, it's 2 days till Hatch Day, and we have two really important things that we need to talk about today. First of all, drum roll, Rashid. It's time to talk about time. That's right, guys. Time is a super fun part of math. I have my huge clock friend here today to help me. But first, I want you to think about 1 hour and all the things you could do in 1 hour. You could go for a really long bike ride. You could play a really long game. You might even be able to play a whole round of Monopoly. Maybe you could watch a show. Now think about 1 minute. What are some things you can do in 1 minute? Maybe sprint across a field, sing a song, eat a quick snack, wash your hands. So which is longer, an hour or a minute? That's easy. The hour, right? But did you know that 1 hour is just 60 minutes, one after another? All a clock does is show you that time passing. It's reporting every time another hour passes by showing it on its face. So telling time is as simple as reading the clock's face. There are two hands on a clock. One of them is long and one of them is short. Here's a closer look at the long one. Every time this big long hand goes all the way around from 12 all the way back around to 12, that's 60 minutes, 1 hour. That's why it's called the minute hand, because it's going 60 minutes all the way around. Then we also have the shorthand. The shorthand is the minute hand's helper, and it is called the hour hand. This is because every time the long minute hand goes around one time, the hour hand helps out by telling us which hour it is. Watch it happening here. It's 2 o'clock right now. I know that because my short reporting hand is telling me that. He's the helping hand to this tall, long minute hand, okay? My hour hand is pointing at 2, so I know it's 2 o'clock. Watch what happens as my long minute hand goes all 60 minutes around. The hour hand is slowly moving from the 2 to the 3. Now it's 3 o'clock, right? Got it. So when you write the time, there are 2 ways. One is to actually write o'clock. Let me show you. If I want to write this time, I can write it like this. Because when it's an hour, when the minute hand is straight up, we call that o'clock. 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, all right? And it's important to know how to write that. The other way I could write 3 o'clock is to write the number of hours and the number of minutes with a special symbol in between that I know you guys have seen. The special symbol is 2 dots like this. 3 hours and no minutes, okay? So that's 2 ways to write 3 o'clock. At home today, you will practice looking at clock pictures, telling the time, and writing the time yourself. The second new thing that we are going to look at today, or should I say that we are going to study today, is the letter Y. Y loves to make lots of different sounds. So let's be word detectives here and see if we can look at this Y. First of all, what word is this, guys? I see a fantastic ST blend. Got my vowel sound, another consonant sound. And what is happening here? What sound is this Y making? E, st, d, E. How weird. Study. How about this one? Bunny. B-un-E. Wow, again, Y is sounding like an E. Ooh, what about this one? What's I sounding like this time? You know this word. Sky. Wait a second. Is he sounding like E this time? No, he's sounding like I, right? So we are seeing that Y really likes to jump in and end words for us. He loves to sound like a vowel. This week, we're looking at words where Y sounds like an E, like in study, or baby, party, or he's trying to sound like an I, sky, try. You guys already know many of these words, and you have read all of these words. So, as we practice and memorize these patterns this week, don't forget about the powerful, amazing tool that we learned about last week, your reading memory. And to activate your reading memory, don't forget, you have to constantly keep asking yourself, have I seen this word before in a book? Does it look right? Can you say that with me? Does it look right? All right, guys. There's one more thing I want to do with you this morning. Have you ever swallowed a mouthful of salty ocean water? Ooh. Ugh, gross. Salt water, gross. Ooh, not from the ocean. I just mixed salt into it. But guys, nasty. So, or worse yet, have you ever gotten salty ocean water up your nose? It's terrible. But just because we weren't made to drink salt water doesn't mean it's not important. Salt water and fresh water are the key to the biome that Rashid and I are starting to explore this week, the aquatic biome. What does aquatic mean? Well, it's a good thing we know a teensy tiny bit of Latin. The Latin word for water is aqua. So the aquatic biome is the biome of water, the water biome. Fresh water, like in ponds, rivers, lakes, and salt water, like in the ocean. We're going to head outside now to a tiny little pond that I have in my own backyard. This pond was made by people, not by God, not by nature, but it gives you a tiny idea of a pond and how cool it is. A pond is the perfect place to explore the freshwater biome. Do you guys know the amazing things that live in a pond? Wow. Well, today I just want you to think about this. I want you to think about all the amazing things that can live on or near a pond, all right? Did you ever think about that some things live in the pond, some things live around the pond, and they all depend on each other, okay? So what are some animals that live outside the pond but rely on the pond for their food? Can you think of any, Rashid? Oh, he says raccoons, definitely. Heron, oh my goodness. We've had a heron land in our pond and eat the fish. Crazy. There's lots of other things too. How about ducks? They love to eat the algae and things that are growing in the pond. What about things that live in the water of the pond, like fish? Or things that live way down at the muddy bottom of the pond, like frogs and crayfish and even freshwater clams in some ponds? finally, did you guys know that there's even things that live on the surface of the pond? Things like water striders and other insects. They can do this because of something called surface tension. It's a very cool science thing that you can check out yourself. So we're going to look today at some things that live in and around the pond and depend on the pond. And then tomorrow we'll look at the life cycle that happens in ponds. I hope you guys can take some time to explore with me. And most of all, I hope you have a great day and that I can see you all very soon. Bye.